Ladies and gentlemen, those between and those not there at all, my name is Cas Phoenix, and welcome to the U Idaho Esports Twitch channel. Once again, bringing you some epic esports content. I need to find a better way to sign us on to that. But once again, also opening up our pre-show with an interview with another faculty member. Yesterday, I brought you Maggie from our financial aid department. Very important figure, at least for keeping me here, obviously. I do depend a little bit on financial aid, so that's kind of important, right? But today, I am joined by Mario. Mario, if you would like to formally introduce yourself to the stream.
Certainly. My name is Mario Pyle. Currently, I'm the Associate Director over in Student Involvement.
That's awesome. So, another department that is very much related to us as well, considering that for those of you who do not know, Vandal Esports is under the Department of Student Involvement. We have had Brandon on the stream before, and I've also worked with him multiple times because I do sound stuff for Joe's Inferno.
Gotcha.
Go watch Joe's Inferno.
Yes.
By the way, episode with financial aid just came out. It's pretty heat, no pun intended. I'm very excited to talk to you today. You have quite a lot of interesting background, I would argue, and I mean, that's easy to say. Black man in Idaho, right? You don't find us a lot up here.
Correct.
So I'm curious to know where that starts for you. Now, you went to Colorado Tech,
right?
Were you born in Colorado? Were you born in Idaho and went to Colorado, or?
So I'm from California.
Oh, really?
Sacramento area.
Oh, me too. Well, I'm from California, but like SoCal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I initially went to college at Cal State Northridge.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's where my sister went to college, and so I lived with her. I did that for a year, and then I left and joined the military.
Yes.
So to take it a step further back, I joined the military, and then went to Okinawa, Japan for my first duty station. And then after that, we joke and say that I must have made somebody mad because they sent me to Mountain Home. Ironically, I didn't even know where Mountain Home was.
I don't either.
And so
is that here? No,
so yeah, it's about an hour from Boise.
I see. Okay.
And so that's what brought me to Idaho. As far as getting my degree through Colorado Technical, that was online school. And I actually got that degree when I was in Orfino.
Oh.
There's not anything to do.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's like might as well do school.
Exactly.
Right. Keep yourself busy with some schoolwork. I love it.
Yeah.
So between that, obviously, because you, I believe, were with National Guard since 2008.
Correct.
For context, for some of the people closer to Mario's age, I was 3 years old. So,
yeah.
Maybe I'll make a joke about it a little bit with some of the other interviewers, because I'm talking to a lot of faculty. I'm not making them feel old, but like Maggie was telling me yesterday, it's like, oh yeah, I've been doing this since like 2002, and I'm like, that's -3 for me, man.
Right.
But along with that, obviously you had a lot of different experiences in between that as well with Idaho Youth. In between both the ranch and the challenge program.
Correct.
Do you want to talk about a little bit of your experience with those programs? Like what they do, what you did with them?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I left active duty military because I wanted to work with at-risk youth.
Oh.
And there's a backstory that I won't get into now on why that was.
Of course.
Working with at-risk youth has been always a passion of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I left active duty, I actually started in juvenile corrections in Nampa, working with youth there. And what drew me to leave was I felt like those kids, if they'd known someone sooner, maybe they wouldn't have ended up
in the positions where they.
Because many of them told me that. They're like, man, Mario, if I had someone like you checking me and like keeping me focused, I wouldn't even be here today. And so that's what led me to working at the Youth Challenge program, because that program was built for young people between the ages of 16 and 18 who are at risk of dropping out of high school. And so they're not in the system yet.
Uh-huh.
And those were the students that I'm like, okay, maybe I could reach these students before they get to those extreme situations. And it was a great job, probably the best job, one of the best jobs I've ever had.
Mhm.
I mean, I love working it. We used a quasi-military. There was no military recruiting.
Uh-huh.
And
But it was just that kind of like structure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is most what kids need and thrive in.
Of course, exactly.
And I got to be a cadre initially,
Mhm.
which was basically waking the kids up or putting them to bed and everything in between.
Uh-huh.
And then I did that for about a year and a half, and then I transitioned as an admissions counselor.
Mhm.
And then I got to see the kids before they got to the program,
Uh-huh.
which was just an amazing process to see kids that were angry, frustrated, discouraged, all these different things, and trying to recruit them into this program, and then seeing them at the end and
Of
just
like how they've just become almost
changed.
entirely different people.
Absolutely. And that program is in residence about 5.5 months,
Mhm.
and so I wouldn't see them until graduation.
Right.
And many of them would lose weight, their hair would be cut, they would be calling me sir and standing at attention. It's just a transformation, and just seeing that they now can feel like they could be successful.
Mhm.
When they came to me, they were, like I said, discouraged, disappointed in themselves, feeling that their family felt they were a disappointment. So that was
Mhm.
a great job, and really missed that job. That program is located in Pierce, Idaho, which is,
Uh-huh.
I guess, northeast-ish. You kind of have to go there. There's no driving by it because it's like at the top of a mountain.
I see.
And that just was a wonderful program, which I kind of, you could say, kind of reached a peak in the program.
Uh-huh.
And so that's when I moved to the youth challenge, or the youth ranch.
Mhm.
And I worked there for about a year, and I was the program manager over our two different programs. We had a long-term program, and then we had a short-term program for kids who were runaways or in transition. And so that was a really complex job of trying to work with staff and youth that were in the mindset of I'm here for a long time, and then youth who are like, I'm here for a day or a week. And so that challenged me in a lot of ways. And definitely has always been a soft spot in my heart, and I still try to be somewhat actively connected to the youth challenge, and any way that I can, I still will advocate. And
Mhm.
like, if parents call me and they're like, what about this program? I still tell them it's a good program. You should send your kid. It'll change them. You won't even recognize them. So that's a little bit of background on like what drew me to that. But it was always been a heart of mine, even when I was in the military, to do something similar to that.
I I can really appreciate that. It's and it not to say it's weird, but for a little bit of background on myself, I grew up in the foster system. I was in
Okay.
a lot of different situations, and one of those situations was more of like kind of a structured group home,
Right.
right? And looking back, there's so many different kinds of people
Right.
in the world, and
Yes.
people have to fill those positions. And it
Right.
always, like, looking back, intrigues me on like what inspires somebody to want to work with kids like who I was at
Right.
the time, right?
Yeah.
I was not only just not a fun person to be around then,
Right.
but also it was a very complicated time of my life, and
Right.
with a lot of the kids I was living with, very complicated time in
Yes.
their lives as well.
Right.
And I know you didn't really want to get into it, but I would imagine I could tell about the way that you talk about it and the way
Right.
that you explain your involvement with it, that it was something that obviously like meant a lot to you. It's something
Absolutely.
you were absolutely passionate about.
Absolutely. I told a lot of the young people that I worked with, the only difference between me and them was you got caught.
Mm.
Like, I understand you're confused. I understand that what you think life should look like doesn't, and
Mhm.
you feel like everybody's disappointed in you. And again, not to go super deep in it, but I had a friend, Justin Johnson, childhood friend. Our families were friends, actually. When I just turned 20 and thought about changing my life, and not focusing on like trying to be cool
Mhm.
and just thinking like, okay, how do I
What do you want for you?
right? And we're the same age, and
Mhm.
he was going down this path of selling drugs,
Mhm.
and even though I didn't do that, I still was around that world.
Uh-huh.
And before he turned 20, he was shot to death and left to die in his car by people who were supposed to be his friends.
Mhm.
And the day before he was killed, we ran into each other at our barbershop.
Uh-huh.
And I was too afraid that he was going to judge me as being corny in a square. I didn't tell him that I was trying to make these changes.
Uh-huh.
And I think about Justin every single day and wonder, what if I'd have told him? Not that I could have stopped his death, but what if I told him that he mattered, that he didn't have to live this type of lifestyle? And so working with youth, I see Justin in every single one of them. And if I can give a young person who feels confused, discouraged,
Mhm.
that someone sees them, and you don't have to change.
Uh-huh.
Like, be who you are, and let me, if you want help, let me tell you how much you're loved. Let me tell you that you actually matter, and that the
Mhm.
confusion is part of life, and that you can pick which direction you want to go. And so I now make it I make every day an attempt to tell young people that you're loved,
Mhm.
because I've missed that opportunity with Justin, and it grieves my heart that somebody that I was super close with, that I went to school, elementary school, from kindergarten all the way through. He's not here.
Uh-huh.
And maybe if I'd have just not been scared, maybe he'd still be here. So that's what, like you said, that's
Yeah.
why I do this.
Yeah, no, okay. Well, my apologies for having you
No,
stuff in there.
no,
It's
totally fine.
it's I think it's important and useful for me to know these things,
Right.
mostly just because I get an insight on who you are and
Right.
and the deeper things as to why these things matter so
Right.
much to you. And when it comes to working with at-risk youth, or for like a lot of other people that I knew, specifically
Right.
social work and stuff like that, and working with foster children, it's because of a lot of very similar situations of
Right.
like, this thing had happened to my life that in a way could have been prevented or at least
Right.
altered in some way.
Yes.
Right. And you're in a way giving yourself another opportunity to not let that happen to other people.
Right.
So absolutely admirable, like little clap for it as the most empathetic thing that I could do in the moment.
Yeah.
And then moving on a little bit to a very not as heavy topic. I
Right.
guess we're moving
Probably
on
good.
to something a little bit lighter. We are here to talk about games. We
Yes.
are in the Esports lab, the Vandal Esports lab, located
Right.
in the basement of the Perceived Pimpment Center. For those of you who would like to see us sometime,
And I encourage anybody to come check it out.
it's a pretty cool space, I'd argue. Tonight we have a Valorant game with University at Buffalo, not
Okay.
University of Buffalo. I don't know why they call it that, because I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's still the Buffalo, New York, right?
Right.
But do engage me. What do you know about competitive gaming?
So I did work at Boise State
Yes, you did.
when they were beginning their esports program there. And so I did get a chance, because I used to do development work, so raising money for scholarships. So all of us development officers got a chance to go visit their esports platform. So that was my first exposure. And so that was what, 2020, so during COVID,
Yeah.
just before COVID actually happened. So that's how new it is. to me.
January, February, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I know. And I mean, it's still very new to me, but it's exciting to see that it's growing and turning into what it is. But I know very little as far as the competitive side of gaming.
Well, it is a very unique world. A world, I'd argue, is kind of like my personal passion for things that unfortunately I do not have time to get into. But
Right.
I did do a whole interview with Vandal offline if you guys want to know a little bit more about me. And I ramble on for like 5 minutes about my history in gaming and stuff like
Gotcha.
that. It's pretty freaking awesome. But speaking of we do have that game to get to, and I have been told by production that our players are getting ready to go. So
Okay.
I'm gonna bump this to our casters. But
Sounds good.
Mr. Pyle, it was an absolute honor to have you here
Thank you,
at the
Chess.
couch. I hope you enjoyed it. Is the couch comfortable?
This is great. Thank you so much. Great questions. You're great. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. It's very reassuring. Sometimes I've been told that I'm a little yappy in interviews and stuff like
You're
that.
good.
But I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad that our viewers got to learn a little bit more about you.
Yes.
But until next time, I'm going to be sending away to our caster's room to get you started on this game. I don't know if I'll be seeing you guys again tonight, but I will be here tomorrow. So please do tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. to see another interview, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of this, and I hope you guys are here to see them.
Thank you.